Good evening and welcome to a very special edition of Florida Criminal Law TV. I'm your host, Attorney Stephen G. Cobb. Since 1990, I've been defending people accused of various different types of sexual offenses, and today we're continuing to go over different types of defenses and matters that affect the defense of your case. Now, no one likes child pornography. It's one of those things that when you have a hearing in the courtroom, you can visibly see people are squeamish by the very thought of child pornography. And during jury selection, when the question is asked, is there anyone here who just knowing the charge is transmission of material harmful to minors, child pornography, or possession of child pornography, or is anyone here who just hearing that charge would be unable to render a fair trial? You're going to see about 70% of the room raise their hand, which is why you have very big venire panels. Venire panel is just a very specific way in legal terminology of saying a group of people we're going to try and pick 6 to 12 people to sit on a jury. That's what a venire panel is. And right away, in these types of cases, we have large numbers of people who are excluded. Now, at the same time, while everybody's having that ooh reaction to child pornography, how many times have you scrolled through social media or seen proud parents with pictures of baby's first bath? Is that child pornography? My argument is no, of course not. That's not child pornography. But you have to remember, perception is often reality, and there are people who, upon seeing that cute little image of dad giving his daughter her first bath because mom is, barely able to move after childbirth, who will turn right around and report that to law enforcement. Oh, look, I found child pornography. Now, we know that's not child pornography. There's no sexual intent whatsoever. There's no improper intent whatsoever. The mere fact that a baby is nude is not unusual. That's kind of how they come out and how they're born. Yet we still have large numbers of people who are flipped out by that and will construe it into one thing that it's actually not. So my recommendation on those types of pictures is very simple. Don't take them. Seriously, don't take them. The risk is so severe, it's not worth having a keepsake of baby's first bath. In reality, when it comes to child pornography, do you know where the largest source of child pornography is? Wouldn't you think that largest source should be shut down so that no one would have access to such disgusting pictures and videos of children, very young, we're talking 3, 4, 5, having sex or being sexually molested? Can you relate to wanting to watch that? No one can unless they have a brain disorder, and this is where the brain defense comes in, because every single person who is guilty of a sex offense I've ever had brain imaged, and by the way, I've done more SPECT brain imaging of sexual offenders than any lawyer on the planet. If you know of one who's done more, would you please let me know, because I've looked and can't find anybody. It'd be nice to have somebody to talk to about this stuff. Not many people want to sit around and chat about the anterior portion of the cingulate gyrus and what it means when it's overactive along with the basal ganglia. If you're rolling your eyes or going to sleep at this point, believe me, I've seen it before. So if you do know of somebody who does this kind of work in my field, please let me know. With child pornography, though, what we're dealing with is law enforcement is making sex offenders out of people who are just curious or doing a different search. And how are they doing that? The largest supplier of child pornography showing the most disgusting things you can imagine is your government. That's right. Your government puts thousands of pictures and hundreds, if not thousands of minutes of video footage of disgusting child pornography online. They make it freely available. Now, what they're going to tell you for political purposes, because we all know that a politician has two loves in life. Not their spouse, of course, not their partner, of course, money and re-election. We all know that to be true. They put it out there so they can do these stings, getting those who are truly interested in child pornography along with those who accidentally stumble across it or who are just curious. And sure enough, they arrest all of them in this big net. They make sure that the public relations officer of the local police or sheriff's department contacts the media. We arrested 30 people for child pornography. We're doing great. Yeah, of course they do. Because nobody has run for a political office and, won an elected position by going, we should be really smart about the problem of crime. In fact, we should solve the problem of crime one person at a time so that no one is victimized and that over time we get criminal impulses out of society by solving the problem of crime. No, they'd never get elected. What do? You heard it during the 2016 campaign. It's been going on forever. Lock them up, throw away the key. That's what you hear. Why? Makes people angry. What do angry people do? They run out and vote. Do you think people vote as much when they really think about something? No. Politicians don't want you to think. That's the last thing they want you to do is think. They want you to send checks without question. They want to tell you anything and have you believe it. If they tell you the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, you're supposed to go, that's true, which we all know isn't. And with child pornography, there are a number of different ways somebody can be snared up in that. And one of the key things we look for are technical defenses. Now, I realize this is a section on sex offense defenses, but if I were to go through all of the technological defenses to child pornography alone, we'd be here all day. But basically, when you have a contested child pornography case, it's really important to consider hiring an expert in that type of technology, not child pornography technology, but digital technology, because that's where it's found. Nobody's being prosecuted based upon Polaroids or camera film or anything like that. It's all digital in the modern world, usually relates to the internet, and having an expert witness who can present testimony can show that perhaps it was on the device, but it was not viewed. Perhaps there was malware that resulted in it getting on the device. You also may have defenses such as someone else put it on the device. Sharing of devices is incredibly common, especially in family and family-like settings where people are not technically a family, but you have, say, 3 or 4 people living together, and then you throw teenage children who are curious into the mix. I mean, think about it. For a 16-year-old, does a 16-year-old want to see naked 40-year-old women? No, not usually. You'll have an occasional outlier, but generally speaking, they're looking for someone their own age. I mean, think about it. Does it shock you to learn that a 16-year-old boy is interested in 16 and 15-year-old girls? Does it shock you to learn that a 15-year-old girl is interested in 16, 17-year-old boys? Not at all. In today's world, it can even be the same gender. And when you have shared devices, this becomes an issue. We're now starting to see cases of child pornography with shared devices. And this is important because you don't want, say, a parent falsely convicted, but at the same time, you don't want the parent acquitted and then the child is arrested. So it's a very delicate balance. And if you or someone you love is in this type of situation, facing all these dilemmas, stress, and emotional trauma, feel free to contact me. I'll make time available, and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions.